Hey guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore as we now head straight into the fray of Group B. We've already had one series from it, and now we have the second. It's going to be Happy versus DongRaeGu. Bit of a TVZ here. It's one of my favorite matchups. Happy to be casting it alongside you. You like it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I was just telling Idra actually that apart from Protoss matchups, it's probably my favorite matchup.
Yeah?
It's my 4th out of 6 matchups. Actually, this is because I'm Protoss. Like you have to favor the matchups you know the most. But I think for a lot of people in general that play StarCraft, it's probably their favorite matchup just because it's so action-packed and there is always stuff happening. It's very spectator-friendly, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But, and especially, I mean, Happy versus DongRaeGu here. As much as Happy is not necessarily the guy that will try to attack all the time, depending on his mood and all that, DongRaeGu is. DongRaeGu is somebody who's going to go for Mutas a lot of the time. He's going to try to fly in, do some damage, make something happen all the time, and that's very good for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people considered DongRaeGu's TVZ to be where he gathered his resurgence as of late. We saw him defeating people like Innovation in WCS Season 3 in Korea. And then ever since then, he's actually beaten Flash as well, as we saw that. I think it was during Intel Extreme Masters New York, actually, wasn't it, that we saw DongRaeGu versus Flash. But regardless, he has a lot of strength in the matchup.
What happened to his hat?
Oh.
Maybe the one time he was trying to be special and wearing a hat, he had Spider here next to him. He's like, I'm never doing anything like that anymore. And then he loses to Spider after the ceremony.
Yeah, man, he lost to Spider Hyun. That was slightly embarrassing. No, I'm joking. But yeah, the hat, I think the hat had to go. I think the hat was his girlfriend's. Cause he was there with his girlfriend, and she had the hat, and then she gave him it. Maybe it was for good luck, but now he doesn't have the hat. I'm under the impression that doesn't...
No bunny ears either.
No bunny ears, no. So no hats, no bunny ears here for DongRaeGu. It's serious DongRaeGu that's turned up.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup. I mean, we have 2 players that probably never played together before, or not that I know of. That's obviously don't play that against each other because they live in different regions. And now, I mean, stylistically, as I say, DongRaeGu, he likes to go for mutas, he likes to make stuff happen, like move around the map. He's very good defensively, offensively as well. He's macro, one of the best out there. He's always been one of the best Zerg versus Terran player in my opinion. There was a time he even claimed himself that he thought he was the best in the world in this matchup. Whereas, on the other hand, you have somebody like Happy. He's not your typical Terran, as much as he's going to play standard sometimes. He also has kind of his own touch in his build orders. Sometimes he can play mech as well too.
Yeah. Keep
that in mind. Happy can play mech. Are we going to see mech here out of him? That's possible.
Yeah, it certainly is. And the thing about Happy is that me and Greg spoke about it previously, is that he silently gets to the top 8 of pretty much every tournament he ever plays in. And that was kind of epitomized recently when it comes to Home Story Cup. He was one of the top foreigners at Home Story Cup.
Don't remind me.
No offense. And, you know, we saw him go toe-to-toe with Spider Hyun. So he went 3-2, 2-3 in fact, as Happy did end up losing that series. But, you know, he took him to the brink. So Happy can do it, but can he do it against DongRaeGu, who I think this is by far DongRaeGu's strongest matchup. And he beats the best of them.
Yeah. Who do you think is better right now, Effort or DongRaeGu? Versus Terran or in general?
Versus Terran. That's
Effort has been very impressive. I think we have. You know, I think we have to wait until this series finishes to decide who's playing better, and then even then, like they are still gonna have to possibly play against each other. But right now, Effort has been very impressive. Now my question is DongRaeGu going to be as impressive in this series as Effort has been so far in this tournament? I guess we're gonna find out.
Effort's looked good, man. He's really looked good. And, well, can DongRaeGu shine as bright as he can? But at the same time, we shouldn't discount Happy at all. He somehow, some way finds the opportunity to get to those top positions in tournaments. But this is a tough one. This is a really, really tough tournament. The round of 16 is absolutely stacked. And Happy qualifying through the European region, it's not quite as difficult as it will be to qualify through the Korean region or through this open bracket.
And also, you know, I ask is DongRaeGu as impressive as Effort, but we haven't seen DongRaeGu yet in this tournament. No. This is the first match he's going to play here. I guess the last we saw him was in New York, where he had a very strong showing, but ended up losing to Spider Hyun. And Whereas effort, we just saw yesterday in the open bracket, we saw him today as well. He's been playing very, very well. So now let's see what DongRaeGu can bring up to the table.
Let's indeed. As we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner, our Red Terran, representing, well, Europe, to be honest with you. He is Empire happy. They also have Grubby here, I guess. And spawning down at the bottom right-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg, representing MVP. It is DongRaeGu.
DongRaeGu. I like to call him the original Dong, but then somebody was like,
uh-oh.
Did you just do that?
Uh-oh. I don't know if you want to anger the Dong fans.
The old school Dong.
Yeah. Well, he's been one of my favorite Zergs for a long time. Ever since there was a lot of hype buzzing around about him in the Korean scene when nobody had seen him in GSL, but everyone was like, he's top of ladder, he's top of ladder, he's the best Zerg ever. I was like, oh, okay, then I guess he's the best Zerg ever. And then he came along and he actually proved that he was one of the best Zergs ever. So I was like, oh, okay then. So yeah, I like DongRaeGu a lot. But I also like Happy a lot. He doesn't really get, you know, the massive amount of fans that we see from other European personalities and stuff like that. But Happy, what he does is he turns up and he never gives you a shoddy performance. He always does well to the standards of Europeans, but never gets that extra step on to get into the finals and the wins.
Happy is looking, actually, he looks very mean when he's playing. Oh yeah, man. He's focused. A little bit quite scary. I'm a little bit surprised that DongRaeGu scouts for 2 racks in the first game. A lot of the time, I feel like, depending on who you're playing against, you have to evaluate how likely it is that they will go for something like a 2 racks. And I'm sorry, but Happy doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that will go for 2 racks very often there. So I feel like there is a very little chance this will happen. But maybe DongRaeGu is like, the only way I can lose to these guys with something like that. So I'm just going to scout for it, and then if he doesn't go for it, I'm just going to beat him in a regular game, even though I have mined a little bit less minerals in the start. He's actually done a pretty good job with that drone, removing some hit points from that SCV here. Yep.
And again, we only need hark back to in the previous season of WCS Korea, where we saw DongRaeGu taking some fantastic games off Innovation himself. So it's going to be a tall order here for Happy to defeat DongRaeGu. If DongRaeGu plays to his best, again, this is his first game of the tournament. We haven't seen how he's performing so far. So this series will be really telling, because DongRaeGu is like, for me, he's like always champion caliber. So if he brings his A game,
yeah, I agree,
then he's in for contention at least.
And Happy, I was trying to talk to him a little bit before this match happened here, trying to get some information on how he was going into this match. And he wasn't really talkative, to say the least. He wasn't really saying anything, and then suddenly he said, I just played him in ladder. He kind of giggled. So what does this laugh mean? Like, what do you mean? And apparently he won. He played DongRaeGu on ladder and he won just during his warm-up before this match here. So I was asking him if this gave him a little bit more confidence. Did he think he was going to win? He told me he thinks DongRaeGu is probably a better player than him, but he definitely thinks he can win here. I mean, somebody who practices as much as Happy, even if sometimes you're going to lack confidence going against a very strong player, confidence doesn't really matter at this point. You're just looking to play your A game, play what you've practiced a lot, and if Happy is able to do that here, I think he's going to have a good shot at winning.
Well, he certainly could do. Happy's always got himself into some interesting situations and has prevailed in the past. Again, we only need to think back to the Home Story Cup, where we saw him almost defeating Hyun, unfortunately falling to the 1 map in the best of 5, and thus it being 3-2 in favor of Hyun. But for now, double gas goes down for DongRaeGu, adding on plenty of drones. He's feeling pretty comfortable at his position so far. These 5 Marines for Happy, it's not often that you see them move out this far. I guess he's looking for an Overlord or something, but not going to find anything.
Hoping to get lucky, hoping maybe to force some units.
Huh. Yeah, I guess.
DongRaeGu didn't even see it, so he's not going to react for now. Is it possible to get a cancel on that hatchery?
He's only got queens.
Isn't that the sickest timing? He arrives as it starts.
This actually
but
is
the queens
brilliant.
are going to take forever to get there.
Yeah, exactly. They can't get there.
Maybe he knew that base goes up at like 6 minutes, and he gets to cancel. And he's going to get the drone too, possibly.
All right, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool from Happy.
Just pretty cool. It's freaking amazing, man. That timing. DongRaeGu had no idea this was coming. You know, he's even losing a creep too right there.
He like snaked around the map. And
snaked?
Yeah, he was like he was slithering along through these little paths and then found his way there. It was pretty impressive. Well, behind this man we have was that 2 tech lab? Oh, it was just 1 tech lab and 1 reactor.
They're in a weird position, those barracks, by the way. Is he trying to hide them so that they don't get scouted? it does look like DongRaeGu is going to be able to see possibly one of them, maybe even two.
If he didn't see them, then he would be anticipating...
Oh, he's turning towards the right.
Okay, I think he's anticipating...
Oh, he sees one.
Okay, right.
And this is huge. Yeah, DongRaeGu knows exactly what could be thrown. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Baneling nest being made here so that he can defend against this. Happy was basically saying that also he knows that DongRaeGu really likes to play Mutas, Zerg, Baneling, Mutas, and not Roaches. So is he trying to do something that only will be countered very well by Roaches here, you think?
I think what he was doing was like just hiding something that was like kind of normal, right? Like if he'd have gone in there and not seen those barracks, then he'd have been like, oh well, you've got a third CC somewhere or something like that. Whereas you know he sees it and it's like, oh, he's got confirmation that it is just those barracks, and the Hellions are just going to continue to press on. So
that scan in the main saw absolutely nothing, by the way, except the lair, which I guess can most of the time here mean that. There is no Roach run unless... I feel like it's unlikely it will be in the expansion. Then again, I'm no TVZ expert. Not going to pretend otherwise, but I feel like the lair timing here that ISA will mean Mutas more often than not. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I'd be surprised if DongRaeGu went anything but Ling Bei Muta in this matchup right now. Unless he saw someone going for like full-blown mech very early on and then he commits more to Roaches and ranged upgrades. But, well, we're going to see how DongRaeGu wants to deal with this. His micro and control, and just in general in these fights, is normally impeccable, as the Mutalisks will be on the way soon. And, well, Happy's going to need to establish himself a third base and then start pushing on. But he's already mixing Marauders in, so if the Banelings connect with those...
that Zergling is trying to get the info of that army, because DongRaeGu, he really lacks vision right now. He only has one Overlord outside the base of Happy. I'm not sure he saw those units moving out. So now he has to start getting ready, and 10 Banelings on the way. This is really going to help here.
Oh yeah, definitely. But again, he has to be careful about not connecting with Marauders. That if Happy's microing correctly, will leave those at the front and not and just micro everything else away.
By the way, that creep thread is ridiculous. It's forcing so many scans from Happy here, and I mean, look, he has to step on creep now. Even if he scans and kill the tumors, those units are still going to be very fast.
Especially without the centrifugal hooks. It's important here for DongRaeGu to connect with these Banelings. But just look at that. Some of the Marauders did soak up some Banelings there, but he didn't really save too much to be able to continue this assault.
That was a pretty nice surround here, but somehow Happy comes out on top here with very few units. He has many vacs to pick those units up and leave behind this if he wants to. 34 Zerglings on the way, 3 Banelings as well. And I don't know why, but when this just happened, the surround from behind with the units, that Destiny Baneling analogy came back to my mind, with the Zerglings holding the army into place.
Ah, yes. That one.
Yes.
That one. Well, yeah, the third command center is going down. Double evolution bays. Whatever. Double engineering bays. Gets there in the end.
Revolutionizing the meta.
It's all of the races in one, guys. But
7 Mutas on the way. That's going to be pretty important in shutting down this drop here very, very soon. Oh, some of them finished already, but not all of them.
How many is he going to be able to get? Well, he's already positioned well nicely for it.
How many Marines were in those medivacs? 4 or 5?
Not many.
Yeah, he could actually chase this down with his Mutas now.
Yeah. Oh, well, he gets an Overlord at least, so he does supply block DongRaeGu for a second here, whilst there's 2 Overlords finish
supply blocks him at 40 supply above himself.
Yeah. Well, for now, we have on the 3 Overlords coming out here just to clear up a little bit of room. 64 drones to 51. So DongRaeGu from this point can just make units, and then start dealing with this. But Happy's not being too aggressive with his bio play. So giving a Zerg this amount of room, I'm kind of scared for Happy.
Yeah. I really like how DongRaeGu is not slowing down with his creep spread, by the way. He instantly resumed it after defecting this first push from, well, I guess you can call it the second push, with those 5 Marines in the start. But DongRaeGu doing a very good job of everything so far. His macro is impeccable. He's getting his upgrades going. They weren't the fastest 1-1 you could ever start, but he's upgrading his Mutas now as well. He's getting overload speed so that his Overseers can go around very quickly too.
In my mind, this is something that we just don't really see too much in the highest level TVZ, which is the Zerg putting the pressure onto the Terran at this particular window of time. Because right now, Happy should be flourishing with his macro and then starting the parade push. But DongRaeGu's feeling very, very comfortable here, enough to split his units up and start pressuring on either side.
Oh wow! And there's actually not much in the third base of Happy here. If those Zerglings and Banelings were to attack, they could do quite some damage. I guess they will force the command center to lift, but killing some SCVs here will be very important. He's already ahead, quite ahead on workers. Look at the production time, 9 more drones on the way. They just finished. Now we have 78 drones to 62 SCVs. And DongRaeGu he almost has his 4th base finished.
And there's only 7 Marines in production. How many barracks does he have?
Oh, the gas income, man.
Yeah.
This is very scary. When a Zerg takes 8 gases, right now he's only on 6, but when they take 8. I play Protoss, but I think and it's about as strong.
I think Happy's macro is slipping here. I mean, I don't want to be too critical of him, but some of his barracks aren't producing. He's not got Marines on the way. He has to deal with this push, but he needs also to pile on pressure as well. He loses the bunker. He's going to lose a lot what's here. He will push this away, yes, but those banelings...
Yeah, DongRaeGu threw away a lot of units here to do some damage. Not all that much damage, but Happy definitely not going to be too unhappy with what just happened. Like, this might actually trigger a counter-attack here. He has a lot of bioforces. He didn't lose any army during this. He just lost some SCV. And those mutas, they're going to try start doing their work here. DongRaeGu is going to fly all around the map and start... He's basically going to force Happy to stay in his base.
And this, yeah, exactly. It buys him so much time to do whatever he wants back at home. If DongRaeGu wants to, he has the gas available to him to then transition onto Infestation Pit and then Hive if he wants. But he doesn't even need to do that if he doesn't want to. He can just go Ling, Bane, Muta and still do a lot of damage in turn. Happy.
Oh, it was upgrading something. The tech lab. Not sure what, but it was upgrading something here, and this was cancelled.
It will have been Drilling Claws. It has to have been Drilling Claws. So that's actually a big hit there to him. As now the Mutalists just keeping all of this back and, again, buying so much time. So much time.
Did DongRaeGu forget about 2-2 on his Zerglings? He hasn't started it. I think he's been spending all of his gas on Mutas and getting some Banelings at home to be safe. And also, I mean, he hasn't been creep spreading as much recently because he was across the map harassing. Since he's on 200 army here, wouldn't it be good to attack, trade, and then basically remax and try and finish the game?
I mean, he could do.
He has so much army supply
here anyway. That's a huge army he has once again. But going to fall back for a second here. I think he may have forgot 2-2. Ooh, has to be careful about where he goes with this. Good splits by Happy. Very good splits, actually. Fantastically done. 2-2's about to finish up after this engagement has concluded. But great control by Happy despite being down in terms of supply.
And don't you think it would have been a lot better if he had waited a little bit more? Because 2-2 was about to finish for Happy. Just finished just now. He lost like a huge portion of his army. DongRaeGu was already maxed. Happy could have caught up in army supply, plus had 2-2 in that fight if he had waited just like 20 seconds more.
Well, for now, we're going to see DongRaeGu once again still hold Happy back. These missile turrets, I mean, they're good, they buy time, but they're not going to really work out for too long. And Drilling Claws is on the way. I think, as you said, DongRaeGu did forget 2-2. He's got the Hive on the way, but like when that finishes, he'll be like, right, time to get 3-3. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to get 2-2 and all my other transitions, which is General Useless Cavern.
This is getting very important here. If DongRaeGu is not able to finish Happy soon and doesn't start 2-2, I mean, if he faces Happy with 1-1 versus 3-3, this is not even going to be close here. I know that his Cloud of Mutas is very strong and he's using it well, but it cannot do everything in the end. And Happy is starting to set up some great defense on his third base as well.
And there we go, 2-2 starts as the Hive finished. So there is that indication that he did indeed forget that there, as it could have started a lot earlier.
Look at DongRaeGu's face. He made a special face for a second here after he started 2-2.
Well, the Mutalists are still doing their job very well. Whoa, 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 whoa. Widow Mines has to be careful. Infest panicked as well, I think.
Calm down, Santa.
Oh, dear. Well, yeah, the cancellation of that expansion down to the bottom right. Not too bad there for Happy. But the Mutalists could just fly back there and kill that off.
Yeah, I think DongRaeGu, he really wants to be more aggressive now. He wants to trade his army because he's already maxed out. He's getting the Ultralis Cavern behind this. He's getting the Greater Spire as well. But he doesn't want to attack into burrowed Widow Mines and a good concave, a good setup by the Terran. So he's going to be a little bit patient until Happy makes a mistake and moves in the middle of the map. Now DongRaeGu is going to catch him off guard.
Oh, those Widow Mines might even have backfired there for Happy. He lost a lot of the Marines to the splash damage of those, and now he really has very, very little army supply. It's 115 army supply against 50 here for Happy. He needs to do something. He needs to save this third base, but it's going to be so difficult. Well, Zergling's going to flood straight on forwards to those while the Mutalists kill everything off, and yeah, this is looking hard for Happy here. He just never hit his stride, never really was able to do anything to put on the pressure. GG for game number 1. DongRaeGu will take it, and it looked very, very confident from DongRaeGu.
I guess our question has been answered. I mean, he made Happy look like he's a bronze player or something. No offense to all the bronze players out there, but not like he's the rank 1 Grandmaster in Europe, which Happy very often is. That was a dominant performance. You don't get to see Happy lose like this every day.
No,
especially
no, you don't.
not in Home Story Cup, but like, I'm very impressed here with DongRaeGu.
Yeah.
I was not sure how this was gonna go. Happy even mentioned he beat DongRaeGu in ladder, so I was a little bit skeptical he will be this dominant, but now I have no doubt DongRaeGu definitely the favorite in this series here.
Yeah, that was a strong performance by him. And again, it was just, for me, in that mid-game, or transitioning into the mid-game, the tables are turned. It was generally the Terran is wanting to be on the aggressive. He's wanting to be the one that's really piling on the pressure. But one thing that did occur there is that the Hellions at the very beginning, they didn't really slow down the creep spread too much. You'd already mentioned that it was out there, doing all right for itself, connecting up the third base, which is very, very important there for the Zerg.
Yeah.
And
you know, in the end, it feels like not starting 2-2, it allowed him to get more units, and it really helped him doing more damage before that.
Yeah, you could make an argument for that. It's quite a few more Banelings.
But you know, it really felt like Happy the way he was moving out and getting caught off guard by the size of the army of DongRaeGu. It really felt like he was playing against another caliber of player of what he's used to. He was moving out like, he can only have this much now. Then suddenly he sees the army of DongRaeGu, he's like, oh snap, how does he have this much? This guy is not the typical Zerg that I meet on Europe ladder. Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean. It might have just been blindsided there completely. But right now, let's get into game number 2, as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner our Red Terran representing Team Empire. He is Happy, smiling. And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our Blue Zerg. Currently 1 game up, he is MVP DongRaeGu.
He finally found a true challenger to go up against him. Usually he plays on ladder, he's always rank 1.
Oh.
And now he lost the game and he's like, I can bleed, finally.
Well, is it game speed is the question? Because I always look at the drones and SCVs and I'm like, is that really the case? Are you checking settings?
You can't actually see it in the options, but somehow I always convince myself that you can.
Well, they could just restart for a second and see if it is or not. Press plus. I don't know.
This only works in single player. Yeah. Happy? Well, what next? He's going to write the codes to get more money?
Yeah, man.
What were those?
I can't even remember all
I
the
used
codes
to use them so much. How could I forget them?
For Warcraft 3?
No, for
your professional? No.
For Brood War.
Oh, for Brood War. Ah, no, I don't remember. I don't remember.
There's like power overwhelming. It's like you're invincible.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, those SCVs look fine to me. But anyway, we are back in this. And, yep, it is going to be Frost as our second map. Now, for me, personally, looking at the spawning positions alone, this is in favor for me for Happy. Is he really? Those SCVs looked fine, didn't they? Surely.
Let's see. He started this depot at like 58 seconds to 1 minute. So let's see at what time he starts it in the next game.
Hey, that's a good metric that we can use to see.
The clock is great, man. The clock helps so much. If you know a lot of timings on the clock, you can actually play pretty well while being a bad player, which
it's useful.
I know all about.
Oh, this guy.
I'm like, 6 minutes. It's time for the fastest DTs possible to come in. So I only look at my ramp. And then it never comes. But the one game that it comes,
you're like, yes, DTs, they're there. And then you realize you didn't go for a build with detection. And you're like, well.
No, you force field, that's the point. And then you buy yourself time. But then you spent all of your gas on sentries that are useless later on and you still lose.
Sick.
It's okay, man.
GG, man, GG. Well, we're going to get back into game number 2 here between Happy and DongRaeGu in a second. Well, we'll find out in just a sec if that was indeed the right speed, as we've just joined the lobby. Okay, so Happy's got a tall mountain to climb. Got to say that, because DongRaeGu looked fierce in game number 1.
He did look fierce. DongRaeGu doesn't ever not look fierce, I think, but sometimes a less fearful.
less fearsome. Yeah.
Actually, DongRaeGu, I think he's one of those players that over the entire course of StarCraft has he's definitely one of those guys up there, probably in the top 10 most impressive guys. Over the entire course, yeah. He started out in the GSTL, nobody really knew him, and then he became the ace for MVP. He has so much great results. He won tournaments here and there, and he's always been very impressive. And sometimes people forget that, and he's here to remind us here today that he's one of those guys.
He certainly is. Like, even in the GSTL, like, he hardly ever lost. But anyway, guys, now we can get into game number 2 as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner our red Terran. He is Empire Happy. And up to the top left, we have our blue Zerg. He is DongRaeGu.
The OD. The original Dong. Whereas, what? Jaedong is the one true Dong.
Guys, someone's gonna...
What's the original Dong compared to the one true Dong? He's below him.
Someone's gonna come and chase you down, and they're gonna lynch you. JD has really fanatical fans from what I've seen. Oh dear. Gamescom was... when he was walking around, man, people loved that guy. Crazy. But anyway.
The Zergs get so much love.
Hey, when did the supply depot start?
Oh.
Did you not look at it?
I was listening to your Jaedong story at Gamescom. You were the one that
started OD.
Hilarious. All right. It looks similar.
Yeah, it does look similar. Whatever. All right, so Jones is going to head on out, having a look around, making sure that nothing crazy is going on. Going to the watchtower first, and then where is he going to go from there? Actually, just chilling out at the watchtower.
Looks like we're going to have a CC first, Heart of Happy, which is perfectly fine on this map. Is it going to be on the high ground, you think?
Is it going to be on the high ground? No.
A lot of those very good Korean Zergs, they've been punishing greedier builds like this, but I think on the 4-players map, here in this situation against a player he's probably not that familiar with, I don't think DongRaeGu would ever try that all that much. So I like the choice here of Happy to go for this. And actually, he saw the command center, and he didn't reveal that he saw it. And I don't think that Happy saw the Overlord, so he's not going to know where his opponent is unless DongRaeGu chooses to reveal it and dances above the command center.
Wait. I don't think this is gonna...
Oh, he's showing him.
He like just starts moving it around now. He's like...
He's purposely showing him. This is... Oh, I think he wants to intimidate him because look what he's going for. He's going for the quick third base, so he wants him to think maybe I'm going to be aggressive. But then what's going to trigger is that Happy is going to go for his scout here, and he's going to know exactly what he's up against, but it's going to be too late for him to decide to do something very aggressive this early on.
It's just a good scout by DongRaeGu. I mean, a luckier scout in essence, because he got that third hatchery down pretty much for free, knowing that there could be no aggression on the way, right? So that's really cool here for DongRaeGu. But meanwhile, Happy, he's still going to feel relatively comfortable with his opener. I mean, he's played against double hatch before pool before. He just needs to sniff it out, and then once he knows, then he'll be well underway to execute.
All right, yeah, with the spawning pool on the way here, I wouldn't be surprised. When do you think you take the gases here, if you're DongRaeGu? You drone up a lot and then...
I think you take it quick.
He's taking just one.
Like,
isn't that a little bit weird?
I think it's kind of important, right, to have speed out just in case something crazy is going on after taking the triple hatch, because you are taking a little bit of a risk, so I think that's important here.
Okay, Happy. Gonna go for the factory behind this. I think third command center. What do you think?
If he did he see it yet? Did he see the third? No, he hasn't seen it.
He didn't see it, but he saw there was no gas.
He went down to the bottom one and checked that one, but considering the spawning positions, there's no real reason why he would have taken that one as a third, even though he checked it. So,
I don't know. He saw there was no gas in the main, so maybe he pulls a Daishi and goes command center first, no matter what he sees.
Yeah.
Daishi is like scouting, baning bust, man. He still goes for the third command center and still holds. Oh, and second factory. Yes. It's happening.
It's happening.
On these positions, it's going to be very interesting too. I mean, we saw MVP playing really well versus Curious previously.
This just could
in that matchup, and I think it was similar positions, right? It was MVP bottom right and Curious top right hand side, if I'm correct.
But the thing is, though, Todd, is that this could just be like pure mass Hellions and nothing else. I mean, he's building a tech lab near that factory, so he could just switch that over.
Oh, yeah, true.
Like, get
I'm getting excited for nothing. It's just like Hellions into
it, right? Yeah. It would still lead on to mech. So, is he going to switch and get Blue Flame? Do it. Or he could get a tank and be, like, really defensive.
Time for the barbecue, man.
Blue Flame, Blue Flame, Blue Flame. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Yeah! Okay, cool. I like blue. Dude, I like blue flame. Right. Okay. Apollo has his favorite upgrade in terms of charge, but my favorite Terran upgrade is blue flame. It's
really,
cool.
I thought it was tunneling claws.
Tunneling claws? Why would I like tunneling claws?
Because you're a Zerg at heart.
No, I'm not.
And you like to abuse roaches.
Is this really your reasoning? Oh, never mind. Okay, so 2 Hellions are going to show themselves. This is kind of a little bit of a bait out here by Happy, because if he just shows these 2 Hellions, it's like, oh yeah, it's just normal Hellions. Just don't worry about anything. But then eventually, there's going to be 700 Hellions, and they're going to kill everything because they got blue flame.
Oh, and he's going to bring the next 3 Hellions immediately. Does he hide them in the middle of the map, or does he reveal them? There is an Overlord just above.
He needs to hide.
Oh, he shows them.
He needs to hide 1, because if...
Oh, and look at DongRaeGu, he's setting up a wall at his natural. He knows. But 1 Spine Crawler, 1 Baneling Nest. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw at least 1 Evolution Chamber. He's starting a Spine Crawler. Well, tried to start a Spine Crawler in his 3rd base as well.
He might, if he's reading this really closely, he might have an indication that there's 2 factories down without actually seeing them, because... Oh, we already saw them, never mind. Well, yeah, they're going to head on up. They're going to get blue flame very quickly here as well. But again, DongRaeGu knows this is double factory Hellions, so he has to be very careful indeed. But again, there being 5 Hellions out of that one point, if you'd have read into that and not seen it.
Oh, I really like the wall at the natural, by the way. You can just put in Queen in there,
really
and this is going to buy him so much time for the Hellions not to get in
flame.
there. But Happy doesn't care. He keeps on rallying Hellions across the map. Blue flame finish now. He might go in there, try and roast all of the Zerglings, and then go for the drones.
It's really good against someone who's not willing to throw down that Roach one, and it goes down now, but it could be too late here, as Empire Happy is going to march straight on into the 3rd base. There's a Spine Crawl to deal with this. Bye-bye drones. You've got to be very careful about where you position yourself.
And I completely agree with what you said. Against someone who doesn't like to go for Roach Run, this is good. But
yeah,
DongRaeGu finally made the Roach Run, but he basically locked himself in. Zerglings are trapped in the main. The Hellions are not going to get in there, but units for... Okay, he cancels the Roach Run in his wall, actually, just now. So Zerglings can come out, and... This is such a nice hold. Only 6 drones have been killed.
Yeah, it's a really nice hold, but it's also really ballsy. If we saw Empire Happy being like far more aggressive and just suiciding in, he could do a lot of damage. He would lose all the Hellions, and then he would be viable to counterattack because there is the Baneling Nest down, and he wouldn't have many units to deal with it. But it's he's got to be so careful.
Look at the transition. A Thor is being made, 2 Hellbats, and the first Medivac is being made as well. Happy's going to start dropping very soon. Hellbats everywhere. That wall at the natural not going to help. And as much as there are Queens around, they are not that fast.
Oh, could get a few. No, only gets 1 or 2 there, so has to once again find another avenue of attack. Those Queens will push him away. DongRaeGu with the Queens, as you've rightly pointed out already, has been so good and thorough about this defense.
He needs the Mutas as soon as possible to help shut down those drops, and double Viking in production as well to try and snipe some Overlords. But I mean, DongRaeGu is going to start at least 6 or 7 Mutas, I think, very soon here. And look at the amount of Queens he has. He's like, I don't need Roaches. I got the Queen Dralisks. Copyright MC.
The Queendralisks. Well, 15 workers have already died.
Those Hellbats in the natural of DongRaeGu.
Killing off a lot of Zerglings and getting a few drones as well. They didn't get that many drones. They got quite a lot of Zerglings.
19 drones in total have been killed in this game, bringing DongRaeGu down to 64 drones against 55 SCVs. And Happy is now setting up his own 3rd base. So I have to say, he did some pretty good job with this.
And 3 more factories, so it's full up to mech here, whilst we have...
He's going full Strelok.
Yeah, but DongRaeGu needs to... Well, I mean, he should realize now that it is going to be mech, so he's going to combat it with Ling Bane Muta, which can be really difficult when there's this many Hellbats and Hellions on the field. You
know, Happy didn't tell me what he did when he played versus DongRaeGu on ladder, but I'm pretty sure he probably played mech.
Probably.
And, one versus that's Muta, Zergling, and Baneling Styler. So in this game, the Roach Run goes down now.
It's
like
late.
It's
very late.
Yeah, I think he's probably like, I have no choice.
I mean, let's face it, like, just in general, Zergs don't have as much experience playing against mech, and that was absolutely epitomized by when we were seeing Curious playing against MVP, because Curious against Bio is amazing. He's so strong against it, but against mech, clearly there are weaknesses there for him, and DongRaeGu might have similar weaknesses. It depends on what we actually see from him.
Oh, the Hellions.
Gets a few of these Zerglings, but he's going to lose a lot of them to the Mutalist. He's just suiciding them now to get a few more drones.
I like how the drones are like, I don't even care.
Yeah,
Just sit there and keep on mining.
But now he's actually got triple evolution chamber now. He's pumping away at all of the upgrades, realizing it's mech. He's going Roach and Hydra, as well as getting some Infestors as well. Yeah, because he wants to get straight up to the Hive so he can get some Vipers out. He needs Roach, Hydra, Viper to combat this, because again, Ling, Bane, Muta just never, ever really works against mech. He had to change.
How good or how bad do you think Ultras will be in this situation if you went for them?
If there's a lot of Thors in the composition, not very good, because Thors can actually bring down Ultras really, really quickly, but he's actually committing to a lot to tanks.
But not because of 250mm cannon, right?
No. Not quite.
It's so funny, like this one time Major was playing a game and I told him to use it. He's like, but it's really bad. It's better to attack, with, especially with +3 attack upgrades. So he used it on, it was against Hydra on ladder.
Yeah.
He used it during a big fight and he got completely crushed and he lost the game from there, even though he was really far ahead.
Wow, sick.
That's when I learned you should never use it versus Ultras.
It's a good job that now there is indeed changes to them, but, well, Creep Spread's going to get going very nicely here for DongRaeGu, and he is...
Oh my god, that's a lot of Timbers, man.
Yeah, very nice.
I wouldn't even bother scanning at this point. It's like, you don't even have time to kill all of them before the scan runs out. And I like how DongRaeGu is working on his mix right now. He's trying to get the perfect amount of Hydralisks that he wants to get, Roaches and Vipers as well. What do you think the ratio should be? Just a very few Hydras, lots of Roaches, and then...
Lots of Roaches if you're going up against a
Vipers
tank player, for me personally, is fantastic, because it just, you can, if you come in, the problem with the engagement for me is not so much the composition, it's how you engage, how you wrap around from either side to take it. Because if you engage from a frontal position alone, you are probably going to die against that many units.
I really like this pack of units too on the bottom right-hand side, ready to counterattack as soon as Happy will move out in the middle of the map. He knows that there is no planetary fortress down there. There is only an orbital command, one tank, and with the sensor tower spotting this, I mean, Happy could come back, but that's why DongRaeGu is going to wait for him to move out. And he's actually prepared some mutas on the left-hand side as well. Those Vikings might be able to start shooting at them now. And he goes for the run-by in the third base. There is only one tank there. It's actually, oh my god.
He's walled it off with command centers.
By chance.
The metagame, 6. It's being broken. No, I'm joking. Well.
And actually, okay, I was wondering if this command center was for another expansion or for Planetary Fortress. This is actually really clever.
Yeah.
How do you run by against this?
I don't know, man. I mean, he secures these bases. And so, well, Swarm hosts, Enduring Locusts are on the way. So DongRaeGu is willing to take this to the very, very long game, which is important against Happy here. But at the same time, Happy will then eventually transition on to starports. In fact, he's heading on 3 tech labs. Where are they? Are they on starports? They're on starports. So, well, he's got to combat this first. That's a lot of Roaches and Hydralisks, but they're being pretty... they've got to get out of there. They can't stay there for long.
Definitely going full Strelok.
What? Brings a Viking forwards, but that's really not going to do too much. Okay, right, okay, the thing is that now Happy, once he's, you know, very, very stable on these 4 bases, if he starts transitioning properly onto these starports, that's where it gets really, really scary.
He's going to max out, that's for sure. I mean, there's no way he's going to die in the next minutes, and he's on 4 bases now, which he's pretty happy about, so he's going to keep on making command centers everywhere. He's going to make sure he has enough building to remake an army upon fighting, and the first Ravens are getting underway. Corvid Reactor as well. This is going to be a scary army here being assembled by Happy. How do you counter this as a Zerg?
It's really difficult. It has begun, Todd. The Ravens are on the way. And they're going to have to be watching that wall pretty intently as well. Going to have it out here with the tanks.
Oh, one of the Viper got sniped by the Vikings down there, but
nice.
The counter-attack doing a little bit. DongRaeGu chooses to retreat here.
Yeah, he can't stick around there with the swarm hosts, otherwise they just get shredded up.
By the way, not the greatest upgrades by Happy. He didn't upgrade all that fast. He's on 2-1 now. He just started 3-2. And same thing for DongRaeGu. They have not been going upgrade heavy early on because they had to make so many units, I guess. They were kind of, I guess Happy was like doing a build that's not really economy or tech based, but just like trying to do damage. And DongRaeGu had to defend, so they neglected. Both of them neglected upgrades for a very long time.
For me, DongRaeGu at this point has to just take like more bases up to the top right. Yes, he's taken those 2 and that's great, but just, you know, just take the one up to the very, very top corner. Just take the one over just south of those as well. Just get all the economy you can do, because Happy right now is not mobile at all.
Both players have the same worker count actually, 78 to 78.
Ah, yeah. They do, so the economy is going to be very, very close, but now...
Every time he kills a few Hellbats with these Locusts before the tanks can take out some of those, and he keeps he's very active with those swarm hosts. He moves them back. He has constant movement, and he's harassing at the bottom.
Yeah.
DongRaeGu is doing this so well right now. He's doing a ton of work.
He really is doing quite a lot indeed. He's killed off quite a few. He's killing off a few workers with that. But the good thing that's about Happy's composition is that with Ravens mixed in against a Swarm Host player, you don't have to drop a ton of scans constantly if you want to move forwards and engage the army, because the Raven can spot the Swarm Host anyway. So that alleviates a bit of energy to throw down even more mules and get that economy really, really going. But Happy is confined to his corner of the map and his corner of the map alone. I would love to see just DongRaeGu just take everything else, because Happy can't move at this point.
You're not going to give that one up, are you?
There you go. That one. Look, he's containing him very, very nicely.
Yeah. The Ultra Cavern is now underway, and I mean, DongRaeGu is... I really feel like he's already doing what he needs to be doing with those units, and this Swarm Host actually nice concave.
Yeah, it's good.
I like the zoom out here. Good job, Infeza.
Good job, Infez. You're doing all right. He's like thumbs up behind the stage. Like, very nice. Whoa.
Oh, that Fungal barely missed on a lot of these Raven and Vikings. It would have been a great catch if he could have gotten them.
He actually walked those Infestors right back into some of those Hunt-Seeker missiles and lost one or two of them. But he does have the Queens here, so Transfuses are going to be able to help out.
As much as DongRaeGu has been doing a great job, this army of Happy is so scary.
And he actually walks on forwards with these Infestors here. They're taking a lot of splash damage with those Locusts that are ending up dying, and that wasn't the most amazing of trades, I don't think, but he got a few tanks, etc.
He's trading energy for units. If you look at the supply, Happy dropped down to 170-something supply, so DongRaeGu almost didn't lose much here.
Yeah, because, I mean...
And behind this, look at what he's doing. He's massing out on Infestors.
Exactly. It's like, even though he lost maybe 1 or 2 Infestors in that engagement, replenishing with 9 because he has like 700 gas guys is
he has so much money.
Yeah.
Why not make like 50 spines and then 50 drones?
More Hunter Seekers, though. Gonna go down, killing off a few of these Swarm Hosts. One of the most amazing death sounds in the game. It's like...
This really feels like a game of Warcraft, man, with all the spells and all. The Ravens flying, like they use Clap and Blizzard.
Wait a minute. How many does he? He has 11 Ravens. He has 11.
He has a lot, but actually... Happy, he's group all of his Ravens and Vikings in one group. No tank is in range to get these Infestors.
He needs to stop those Infestors. He needs to stop them now, otherwise he's going to lose so much of his army. What a fantastic chain of fungal growth here by DongRaeGu. The perfect execution, and they're all going to go down. Oh my god. The Locust plow forwards with the Hydralists as well. DongRaeGu senses that there is a huge opportunity here.
Yeah.
Happy needs to buy time to get more Ravens down.
I think DongRaeGu definitely noticed that these Raven and Vikings, they were in just one group, the same group. So he's like, I'm going to try to force a mistake out of you. He worked very hard and long for this to happen, but it happened. Wow. And now he's killed all of these Ravens. And essentially, I mean, they were the most important units in his composition for Happy.
Yeah, Hunt-Seeker missiles keep going down. DongRaeGu is still bringing the fight to him, but Happy takes a little bit of supply advantage. Now, as he is killing off a few of those Swarm Hosts, throwing down the scans, didn't have the Ravens in range to get the actual vision of that at all. But now 3-3 is going to finish up for the melee here of DongRaeGu, and he's adding on more Swarm Hosts. We could see him go up to the Spire, get up to Greater Spire, and try for some Broodlords with Swarm Hosts as well, but he has to be so careful about that because there is so much access to Vikings and Ravens.
Yeah, and Spore's going to be thrown down in the middle of the map as well. I'm surprised he hasn't made a bunch of spines as well. But DongRaeGu has spent his money so well. He's made some spines on the top right-hand side. He's made a macro hatch there. He's actually on so many lavas right now, 54 in total. And
one thing that I'm kind of curious about, though, is that Happy was able to get a 5th base down to the bottom right-hand corner because DongRaeGu abandoned that location that he was harassing at so strongly.
He didn't even try to block it, like leave one overload there, drop some creep, burrow, Zergling, do something.
He needed to stay down there and continue to limit Happy's economy because with that base down at the bottom,
down there.
I mean, he could just drop every mule there, but this, nah, it won't die to that. But at least he knows it's there, right?
Yeah,
he needs to shut it down.
Oh, I thought he was going to send Locusts there because he has so many Swarm Hosts, but I guess he feels like he has to keep on sending these Locusts in the middle of the map. And, whoa, Happy unsieged.
Yeah.
Did he really want to go for a fight here?
I don't think so. Well, he lost a few tanks
and
there. So
you know what? Happy has spent his entire bank and he's not maxed out anymore. So DongRaeGu finally, he had a breakthrough in this game. And wow, okay, this goodbye Planetary Fortress. Yeah, you had 16 kills, you had a good run, you mined like 500 minerals out of this base, but...
You had a good turn of Planetary Fortress, but GG, it's over. The Locusts are on the way. Well, yeah, bye-bye in just a second. As they will end up falling.
4 more Infestors.
4 more Infestors? How many does he have?
I said this was a game of Warcraft, but I take it back. This is actually Wings of Liberty we're watching. Oh, I guess he lost a lot of his Infestors. He was down to 7 here. So he's going to go back up to like 11 here in a second. And, whoa, these Swarmos, they need to reposition here very quickly. They're still out of the scan. He should burrow them here in a second and send them in. Those Ravens, they're going to have something to say about this. They throw down auto turrets.
Happy has to be careful. He's on creep here, so he has to be very, very diligent about his positioning, because right now his siege tanks are very well split. They're very split up, so the Locust can get on top of them. They're not dying up before they reach the siege tanks, and that was a great trade there for DongRaeGu as he came in from the perfect angle to kill off those separated siege tanks.
Yeah, DongRaeGu here is basically saying, you might have beat me in ladder, but when it matters, this is another story. I played near perfect game here, and these poor Ravens, man, they're getting caught by Infestors now. Oh, using some anti-seeker missile just above this fight here.
DongRaeGu's executed this so well right now, taking a massive, massive supply advantage. Now transitioning into the Ultralisks, realizing that this is when that mech is most weak. And maybe the Ultralisks wouldn't have worked against that huge siege tank line, but now they're just the nail in the coffin here to say, get out of my game, Happy, because DongRaeGu's played it superbly.
And this amount of Locust is swarmy. I don't see another word to describe it.
If that's how you want to describe the Zerg, you may be able to.
Wow. And you make fun of me just like that, huh?
You make fun of me all the time, man.
It's fine, it's fine. Just wait.
I know. All right.
Oh, and Happy still has all of his Ravens and Vikings in one group. Not that it matters, but you would have thought that he'd learn. What does he need to learn? Not to do that, like a GIF of what happened with the first fungal? I mean,
we can make a GIF of it, I guess. It's doable. But yeah, he's going to lose quite a bit here.
It really feels like you shouldn't group your Ravens, or you should have them well spread out and use them one by one if you're going to move into Infestors and try and use some Hunter-Seeker missile.
And that's what he's looking to do once again. Hunter-Seekers do end up going down, but now he reveals and sees that there are quite a few Ultralisks barreling down this location.
Oh, wow. Those
good
Swarmos
though.
are actually quite clumped up. Yeah. Those Ultras not going to care about the Planetary Fortress here. DongRaeGu looking to secure himself his first win in this tournament, and in this group, essentially, he wants to face effort.
Noticeably, Blinding Cloud at the Planetary Fortress, so it makes it a bit harder for it to do anything. So that's cool, that's neat. But as you can see here, DongRaeGu in full command of this game. Yes, there's that base down at the bottom right-hand corner, but there is one lonely SCV. He's like,
it's
my
all up to you, man.
will not be in vain.
It's all up to you to bring the economy back up.
It's all up to you to deal with 20 swarm hosts, man. Good luck. Well, this is going well for DongRaeGu. I think he could have done even better in this game if he'd have kept the small contingent of forces down at this bottom right and kind of suffocated his opponent even more so. But he still recognized it early and dealt with it in turn. So
Happy scanning middle of the map. He sees there are only Ultras there. He's gonna move in there. I think he knows the Swarmos are probably on the bottom right-hand side at this point. He might try to go for a move in which he counter-attack. I think at this point, Happy's only chance is maybe to go for some kind of base raid. What? What's so funny?
I just find it funny that the entire line of Swarmos come up to kill this Planetary Fortress.
It looks like the campaign or something, like something funny you would see.
Yeah, it's brilliant, man.
It's like a real game.
It's the Swarm train. They're on the way, man.
Choo-choo. They're like running in a straight line.
It's the slowest train of all time, but it's there and it packs a lot of punch. You can't stop it.
Parting Soul Train got nothing on DongRaeGu's Swarm Host.
Not this one, it's the Swarm Host Soul Train.
Actually, most of those have a lot of kills.
Yeah, they're doing well for themselves.
Slayer, 6 kills.
Slayer, Swarm Host.
They all have at least 1 kill, I think.
Oh dear, that one had 12. He's a Ravager, boss. All right, okay. So yeah, this is going to be a slow death once again here for Happy.
Slow but sure death.
Yeah. Actually has a really good army, but there's no way he's ever going to engage.
Look at the economy. At this point, all of these Swarmos could die and it wouldn't matter.
Poor little Hunter-Seekers fizzle out.
Did you see that one? It was rolling on the floor.
Yeah, it's like one of the saddest sights in StarCraft. They want to do so much damage, they're so inspirational, but then... They don't really do much, poor little guys.
I've never seen it because Protoss units never get away.
Look at this. He only ever needed the Infestation Pit. Look at it. Swarm hosts, infestors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah.
That's a great way to counter mech. If you have trouble versus mech,
Infestation Pit.
And play as well as DongRaeGu.
Infestation.
Very simple.
Yeah. Infestation Pit and DongRaeGu skills, the counter to mech. Wow. All right, well, this is going to continue on, guys.
Happy is not about to give up here. He's known for his patience. He's known for his capability to wait, but at this point, I think there's just too much.
These Hunter-Seeker missiles are really sad.
Go ahead, remake the noise you just made, the tank shooting.
Wait, no, I didn't do the tank shooting. I was doing the Hunter-Seekers.
Oh, okay.
Poor little guys.
Horrible.
That's bad. All right, well, Ultralisk is going to step into the fray as well. And actually, the Blind Cloud's helping out against quite a few of these tanks. So them being shredded up is helping out considerably, as well as a few fungals on the Ravens as well to kill some off. And it looks like DongRaeGu is probably going to end up finishing it right here, right now with good fungals. But that being said, he's actually losing some of these Ultralisks. But let's not forget, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, DongRaeGu has 7,000 minerals and 5,000 gas. So he can make 2 armies and still be fine.
Yeah, but I think he's just going to keep up with his army. He's happy with the waste trading, and GG gets called. Very impressive win here. Took a while to finish the game, but it really never felt like DongRaeGu was in any danger from that time he killed all of those Ravens and Vikings.
Yeah, the danger days for DongRaeGu passed when the Blue Flame Hellions had been spotted, and then, you know, they were subsequently shut down without really doing too much. From there on, DongRaeGu knows what he's doing. He dealt with it effectively, I would say.
To say the least.
To say the least. So that means we are going to have DongRaeGu versus Effort in the upper part of this group here in Group B, and then we'll have King Kong versus Happy in the lower. So next up, I think definitely will be that ZVZ of DongRaeGu versus Effort, which is probably going to be quite good, considering we saw Effort play some very good ZVZ against his opponent King Kong.
We saw Effort playing very good overall. I mean, if this guy made it to the finals or even won here, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he's been playing very impressively.
He does look really good. You're right. I mean, all the CJ players in the past couple of weeks have really been impressing me. They've been practicing damn hard, man. And then we're going to have Happy versus King Kong to see who is the first player eliminated from the group, sadly.
And who gets another chance.
Yes, who gets another chance against the winner of our next... against the loser of our next match. So, guys, in just a little bit, we shall go to a break. But we've had some good games so far.
Yeah, those were really good games.
Yeah.
You might look at the score, think, oh, 2-0, DongRaeGu will be happy. Not so important. But if you look at the games, well... Textbook, cool. How to play Zerg versus Terran, and against both Bio and Mech.
Yeah, very impressive by DongRaeGu. All right, guys, we're going to go to a break, and then when we're back, we'll have more StarCraft action from the Intel Extreme Masters, Singapore.